I'm perpetually an unhappy camper.
Oh no, not the unhappy camper. Whatever will we do?
I'm still salty about Black Myth.
Well, we'll get into that. Don't worry, we're definitely gonna.
My anger knows no bounds.
My anger knows no bounds, ladies and gentlemen.
Asura from Asura's Wrath wishes he could be as angry as me. Love that. That was such a good game. I really hope they do like a remaster, or port, or something. It's so good.
I'm surprised there at least hasn't been a remaster. I mean, that game came out in what, 2012, 11?
I think before that, because it was a 360 PS3 game.
Right.
No,
so
no, actually, you were close. 2012. All right.
Oh, all right, all right, all right.
I was thinking it was later than that, but yeah. Okay. That was late in the generation.
It was, yeah.
God, that game was so cool.
I mean, it was basically like a prototype almost for what Final Fantasy 16 became with its Titan fights. That's essentially what it was.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Titan fights were really cool and bombastic, and I'm down for them. But Asura's Wrath, especially the DLC, was even more insane. Not to say that Final Fantasy 16 didn't have really insane ones, but this one is next level. Like, no game felt as massive as Asura's Wrath. Like, it was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I love that game. It's so stupid. I miss that generation. There's a lot of stupid games that just would never work in this current economy and stuff. But it was cool.
It was. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people look fondly back on the kind of 360 PS3 era. Was that you could take a lot more risks, or publishers or just developers were willing to take more risks because. Even if it quote unquote flopped or it only hit 1 million sales or whatever like that, that at the time was considered a win, essentially, right? It didn't hurt as much financially.
Well, unfortunately, so much cheaper.
Oh, that too, yeah, exactly. And it was just so much cheaper and everything. But unfortunately, now that's not the case because everyone wants their live service slice of the pie now, and everything else is just like, yeah. Exactly working out the greatest, unfortunately. Hopefully we can get back to a time when things are like that, but I don't have much hope right now, at least.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. What will happen there? But until then, we can only hope that some of these people will get their heads out of their butts and, actually not try to just follow trends and realize that video games in its purest form is art, and you can't do things like art in your typical normal business way for the most part. So you need to have something there first, then worry about monetization and all that other stuff. As much crap as I love to give Bungie and everything, they were somewhat right during their GDC presentation, I think back in 2022. Is it 2021 or 2022 where they said, look, first things first, you need to have happy players. You need to make sure that your game is working the way it's supposed to and that your players are actually enjoying the game. Then start to worry about monetization and everything and all that other side stuff.
No. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. Destiny's kind of boring. It's kind of a lame game with
I'm just saying the concept
in there.
The concept
of the game was great.
Right.
The problem is that the rest of it wasn't.
Right. And obviously that falls off that. But what he said at that time,
it's true.
It's true. It is. So again, think whatever you can apply this to any game. You can apply it to any game you want. Doesn't matter. So because we've said extensively here over and over again, there are times where it's just like, Sony, what the F are you doing? Microsoft, what the F are you doing? Nintendo, get us a better hardware.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I will simply say to that whole quote unquote thing that you could sign up with Nintendo, and then they said they didn't want it online, and it turned out to be some kind of Minecraft style thing or something like that. I was just like, Nintendo, what did you expect when people got access to this? You really think you were going to be able to keep this secret forever in the year 2024?
They knew it. They just wanted to go strike some fear into the hearts of YouTubers and Twitch streamers.
Or get some initial impressions probably as well. It's a combo probably.
Yeah. They're probably trying to bring back like what's that thing on the was it DS or 3DS where it's like online shit and it just turned into a bunch of people drawing dicks and stuff.
Oh yeah, that little like pixel drawing thing or whatever it was called. Yeah, I remember that.
Like this is them trying to bring it back. They realize no, they're still not ready. The dicks, they're everywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't you remember back in like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 where you could create your own custom emblem or whatever?
Yeah.
And that was always the
where
thing.
my emblem's from. I
Yep.
still kept it.
Yep.
Haven't changed it since then. It's probably 15 years old now. Don't care.
Yeah, those are some days, man. Those were some days. I tell you what. Didn't we also do that for Crisis 2 multiplayer? Couldn't you do that as well? I can't remember if you could.
That doesn't ring as much of a bell.
Okay. All I know is that we had our awesome clan and no one could ever take down our clan. That's all I'm gonna say.
The prestige ass clan, except for that one guy wanted to join. He's like, no, you're not good enough. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. Like, no, you're not. You're not ready for the prestige ass clan.
You are not ready for our prestige clan. Never. Oh man, those are the days. I can't lie. I know at some point, because I clearly remember back during some of those games where we got tired of those tacked on multiplayer modes and everything. But I can't lie that we definitely had some fun with certain ones like Crisis 2 and
yeah, Crisis 2 is good.
The Uncharted 2 multiplayer, that was pretty decent.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I remember playing the beta a ton.
We played the beta a crap ton. I remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember playing the main game as much, which is kind of funny in hindsight, but it's fun.
Alrighty. Let's get into these votes here in just a second.
Capitan.
All right, so that, so we can grab that. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to take our votes, our 10% of the worthwhile votes for all the nominees when it comes to the categories for the Game Awards. And look, regardless of what you have to say, how you feel about certain categories, certain things that are nominated, we obviously all have our own individual opinions and everything. The Game Awards, to some extent, are a decent deal because not only is it celebrating the developers and the teams that have made these games, we don't give two F's about the publishers or anything like that. It is a chance, though, for a lot of eyes to set their pupils, essentially, onto new games that they might not even know that exist, or maybe they did hear about them, but then they kind of just fell off because regardless of what you want to say, 2024 has actually been a very good year for gaming. You know, anyone who ever says that gaming's dead and everything, yeah, let them just go back and play their 2K basketball game for the umpteenth billionth time that has not changed since 2005. Just ignore those people, okay? 2024 has been an amazing year for gaming. And we're going to go through all the nominees for this because, again, not only is it a chance to see the games that have come out this year that you may have either forgotten about or not even heard about, it's also a chance for developers to then, you know, show you what their next project is coming up, because we are going to be seeing new trailers for 2025. Because if you look at the list of games for 2025 right now, it's not the biggest right now. Obviously, for the most part, you generally don't want to announce things too early. But this is a great opportunity for some trailers and everything. I mean, I personally myself am already thinking that we're going to see some trailers for things like the PC port of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We're probably going to see something maybe from Atlas, maybe whatever their next potential trailer could be. If maybe another team was working on something, we could see something in the lines for any kind of new multiplayer games or anything like that. So there's a lot of stuff that we could potentially see, and it's always really cool to see that stuff. So we'll have to wait and see. But regardless, I'm going to stop saying "see" a lot of the times, and we're going to go through all of these nominees right now. I'm, of course, joined by the one and only Lemon. What's going on, man?
It's going. I'm just still salty about some of the Game Eater stuff, but I will
He's gonna hold his tongue just for the moment until we get to those parts, and then he's just gonna let loose. And I'm gonna let the beast out of his cage. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do here. Okay. So if you guys want to be able to go ahead and vote, by the way, you can head over to thegameawards.com. Just go over the nominees and just simply either click all the categories or just simply start voting, which is what we're gonna do here. And we're gonna start from the bottom. We're gonna start at the categories I think that most people probably don't care about as much. And then we'll eventually finish up, though, with the game of the year. Keep in mind, though, that we as voters do, like, our vote counts, I think, for about 10%, which on one hand I get, because obviously then the internet could be the internet. And next thing you know, they could just troll all these awards. And next thing you know, things are winning that probably shouldn't really be winning the awards. But at the same time, some of the people in the voting, like, I guess, booth, I guess you could say, in terms of who exactly is there, it's kind of like, why are they here? I understand gaming is like bigger than movies and music and everything at this particular point in our day and age, but there are definitely a few votes that I'm just like, you do nothing about gaming. You just simply go by whatever's trending online on X or Twitter or whatever. Like, that's basically it. So like, yeah. Again, when it comes to the Game Awards, always take it with a grain of salt, because in the end, this is all just our personal opinions. There are definitely been years that I don't agree with whatever the game of the year is or certain awards and everything like that, and others I do. But in the end, don't let it get you down too much. As long as your game, though, is at least being celebrated in some way or fashion, that's a good thing. And hey, go out and try some of these games, because there are a lot of games that don't get the recognition that they deserve, 100%. And we'll get into some of that stuff later. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start voting. Okay. Now, it's trying to tell me to go to Game of the Year right away, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go all the categories. I'm going to start down here at the very bottom, which is going to be Best Esports Team. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I know nothing about esports. Just letting you know right now. Lemon, I'm assuming you're exactly the same.
Yep, ditto.
So I'm just going to go off the game that they are, I guess, the team for, whatever the game is. And I'm just going to go off of that. So, Lemon, who are you going to vote for in this regard right here?
I'm going Team Liquid, if only because I remember Team Liquid being around when I was playing StarCraft 2, which was about 10, probably getting close to 15 years ago. So,
all right, I think I'll go with that too, because again, obviously, I don't know any of these teams or anything like that. So yeah, that's just what we're going to go for. So, but of course, if you haven't realized, you sign in apparently. So, in order to get all this stuff. So we will be right back on that real quick.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing that they make you sign in, because otherwise you just have a bunch of people gaming the system.
Oh, yeah.
You still can game it. You get at least 4 votes here if you just have 4 different accounts, but it's a bit of a PETA to try that kind of stuff for just 4 votes for, and the best part is only 10% of, the vote too. So you have your 4 votes, but it really doesn't matter. Yep. In the grand scheme of things. Just do the ones. Save yourself some time.
All right, so we're going with the Dota Team Liquid. That's what we're going to go for. So thank you so much. All right, let's keep voting, and let's go to the next category. I don't know why it says notify me when voting opens for each round. I thought you could vote for everything.
Notified. You can. It's for some. I don't know what that's for. To
Okay.
see if you look at the bottom of the few categories, there's voice. I don't know what that. I guess it's like you can. There's like a bracket or something. Maybe I don't know.
Okay. Well, regardless, we're going to go into the next one, which is
going
going to be the best esports athlete. Yeah, because they're clearly running laps around everything, right? So, again, I have absolutely no idea who any of these people are. So I'm sure they're obviously the best of the best in their category. That'd be my guess in terms of any kind of esports thing. So I don't know. Lemon, who are you going to vote for?
All right. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's 6. Okay.
Yeah,
let's roll
6
a
of
die.
them. Yeah.
Roll a die. All right. So it's a D6. Oh, there's one. All right, it is number one. So that will be 33. 33 is get my vote.
So who's 33 then?
I don't know. Well, that's number 1. It's the first one. The first guy on there's 33. That's his name.
Okay, we're going with 33 then. He gets our vote, people. So
yeah, this makes me feel like I'm out of touch, but
Again,
whatever.
we don't do any of this stuff.
I don't do esports.
All right, we're gonna get out of the esports with our final one here, saying the best esports game. We're looking at Counter Strike 2.
I know games though. I know games. So
yeah, I know. We do know games. We know games. Obviously, we don't know the people. Okay, I'm sorry. So Counter Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, and Valorant. Part of me wants to do Mobile Legends just because of that bang bang for the name.
I do like the name. I do like the name.
I do like the name. You know, just for the laughs, I'm gonna vote for it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
We're gonna go with that. So, all right, let's go into the next one, which is gonna be Content Creator of the Year. And I guarantee you, I've not heard of any of these people, most likely.
Oh my god, I have never heard of any of these people.
I haven't heard of any of these people. So.
Where's Charlie? Where's Ludwig? Like, I know those people.
Really showing your age there, aren't you, Lemon?
I know. All right, let's roll another die.
All right, roll another dice. Let's see what you got.
All right, it is spot number 5. So that will be one. Oh, there's only 5 people. Okay, so all right, whatever. 5th one, Usada Pecora, which is, I guess, a VTuber. Last one, done.
So who'd you pick?
The very last one.
Okay.
Usada Pecora.
All right, we're going with that person, whoever they are. So,
over there, yeah.
All right, now we can get into actual stuff that we're gonna know. So, most anticipated game of the next year. Okay, for me personally, looking at this list right now, it is a toss-up between Metroid Prime 4 and Ghost of Yotei. I'm sorry, Death Stranding. I was never a fan of the first Death Stranding, so I don't think I'm gonna like Death Stranding 2. I just wasn't a fan of it, so that's I'm not gonna say it's a crap game or anything. Just for me personally, GTA, GTA is just kind of a whatever series to me personally. I'm not trying to be that guy. He's like, oh, he doesn't like the popular stuff. It's just like, I never liked GTA.
Hipster.
So, Monster Hunter Wilds, I have tried to like Monster Hunter. I really have.
That was a fun stream. We did stream it, right? Yeah.
We did. And I could not get into it. I just couldn't. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
You were angry.
I was angry. I couldn't do it. So I'm sorry. Okay. So the toss up between Ghost of Yotei. I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's an amazing game. I still go back and play it. So Ghost of Yotei, I'm definitely 100% excited for. Metroid Prime 4, I'm also super excited for just because I've loved Metroid Prime since the GameCube days. The only thing I'm worried about is I just don't know if it is really going to release in 2025 because we're all assuming that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be, a double release essentially, right? It's going to release on Switch and it's also going to release on the Switch 2/Switch Pro. But we don't know when that next console is releasing because it's supposed to get announced sometime before March of 2025. So I'm going to assume, let's say, for example, either January, February, sometime around there. So is there a reality where it's announced and then it is released by, say, the summer, for example, right? I just don't know if it is. Lemon.
But that's not what it's saying. It's most anticipated game, not most anticipated game of next year. So
I know, but it generally is like hinting at that. Look, all these are going to come out next year. Do they get pushed back? Absolutely sure. So I think for me,
which game are you more pumped about, regardless of when it's releasing?
Metroid Prime 4. That's just the case. So I'm going with Metroid Prime 4.
I already voted for that.
Okay. So there we go.
Because I've been waiting for this game for a while, even though I still haven't played 3 yet.
Yeah. And the fact that they went back and they gave it to retro, I have some hopes. So okay, so Metroid Prime 4. Let's go on to the next one, which is the best adaptation. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen any of these. So
okay, I have watched one of them. I watched Fallout and I really enjoyed it, so I'm probably gonna vote for that. I don't give a shit about Sonic. Arcana here's really good. I really want to watch that. I love Like a Dragon. Still haven't watched that yet. I think it might be finished now though, so I think I might watch it. I like to watch series after they're finished. So I think I'll go back and watch that. But I think I'm gonna vote for Fallout because it had no right to be as good as it was. It was a fun show. I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I've heard the good things are from Arcane and Fallout. I've heard those are the 3. Like a Dragon, I heard was not the greatest. Knuckles, I heard was average, and Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, I heard was just okay. So, whatever one you go with, I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah. So I went with Fallout.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Fallout too. So, and before we continue on, by the way, let's head over to other call real quick because Bobby wants to jump in and join us.
Yep, can do. So, all right, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm back.
All right. Okay, so we continue
I wanted
on.
to say hi, and then y'all are in like a private call.
We forgot
Yeah.
to move over, man. Okay, we.
Yeah, that's Talon. He didn't. He don't. He
It's
don't
just,
encourage
it's just
you.
my fault. It's just
He
my
was
fault.
scared of your
Okay.
opinion. He feared it. He's like, he's just his opinion's gonna be too strong for me. I can't deal with it.
I can't deal with it.
I'm just
so.
I'm gonna rage.
We
at
got well.
Wukong.
Luckily, actually, this is perfect timing for Bobby because we've actually got, aside from most anticipated game, we got through all the stuff that we honestly just don't know, like best esports team, best esports game, content creator of the year. Like we just don't know any of these guys / things, so we're just like, okay, we're done. So, but most anticipated game, Bobby, I did want to get your quick personal take on it. Out of those category or out of those games, which one are you most excited for? Lemon and I personally both went with Metroid Prime 4. What are you most excited for?
What were the options?
So out of most anticipated game, we had Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4, and Monster Hunter's Wild.
It's a toss up between Metroid and Ghost.
Yeah, that was the way it was for us. But the more we looked at it, we're just like, oh man, Metroid Prime, especially from back in the GameCube days, like we've been fans of those games since then. So
Yeah, that's
definitely.
true. That might win. Like, cause I don't give a fuck about GTA. Like,
I don't care
I've been
either.
over GTA since
I'll
Vice
buy
City.
it. I'll buy it, but
I'll buy it when it's like
I'm not
$10
looking
in
forward
like
to
6
it.
years. You
That
know,
makes sense.
like after they,
Yeah,
they
I'm not.
support it.
I can wait. I can wait.
I've had GTA for like 7 years. I got it for $15. I've never played it.
Hey guys, I know hot take
Really?
right here. It's probably gonna be very similar to GTA 5. I know, hot take right there. Hot take. I know.
Well, 5 was really good though.
No, I'm not saying 5 was
PS3
bad or
game.
anything. I'm just simply saying, look, if like GTA fundamentally, it's been kind of the same thing, just obviously different story and characters and everything, and there's been updates to how cities work and the customization that you can do and everything. But by large and all, like a GTA game is a GTA game.
Yeah, I like Red Dead more than like GTA.
I'm right there with you, dude. Red Dead 1, right there.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
So next is gonna be best multiplayer.
Helldivers.
Out of all of these, we've got Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2. Now, Lemon and I have needed to play Space Marine. Just unfortunately, I keep pushing it back. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Really cool.
Tekken 8, I've heard nothing but good things, especially if you're a fighting game guy. Helldivers 2 was a lot of fun when it initially launched. I had some very fun moments in that game. Call of Duty, I don't give two shits about. And Mario Party Jamboree, I'm assuming it's just another Mario Party game, which if you have friends, it's great, but it's simply Mario Party. So, Bobby,
if you have friends,
I was saying, I think you might be outing yourself on that one, Talon.
if you're someone who has friends, I guess it's okay. I didn't even have to hear the nominees. It was Helldivers. Like, there's no fucking question. Helldivers.
I think I do have to go with Helldivers just because I had a lot of fun when it initially launched and everything. So
well, and for like 3 months, it was fucking everywhere.
Oh,
it was the only thing people were playing. It was nuts.
It was nuts.
I really didn't like the game, but I love the lore and the hype around it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It was.
It was just dumb.
It was just fun. Yeah.
It was just dumb fun, and it's the same thing people said about Space Marine, where it's just like a 360 game, like that era.
No, it plays exactly like the original Space Marines. Like, it feels good, but it's not like pushing any genre forward. Whereas I think Helldivers kind of did, at least for the zeitgeist of what it created.
Yeah, and Call of Duty is just fucking Call of. Nobody gives a shit. They just people are addicted to.
People give a shit. It's sold well, but the people who
did it though,
I don't know. I'm waiting for those numbers.
I feel like they were talking like it was doing well. So
well, they say that for everything.
They say that for everything, dude. They said the same thing about Bethesda games, and then like a month later, like it's literally like.
All right.
They said Hi-Fi Rush exceeded expectations, Lemon.
Yep. Then they
shut that bitch. They shut that bitch down like 3 months later. They were like, "Oh, not our expectations."
Yep.
You exceeded someone's expectations, I'm sure.
All right, let's go into the next one, which is going to be best sports/racing game. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't give two craps about any of these games. But F1 24, EA Sports FC 2025 or 25, NBA 2K25. Topspin 2K25 and WWE 2K24. I don't give a shit about any of these games.
I'm going to say EA Sports just because I want the chaos of that franchise continuing to bleed people of their money every single year. Like,
He's got a dark side, folks. He's got a dark side to him.
I used to work for those motherfuckers, and I remember seeing FIFA back in the day going like, God damn, this is fucked up. And that was like early on.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll go with F124. I guess I really don't know.
I'll go with wrestling.
Wrestling. Okay.
Why not?
That's shameful, Lemon.
There we go.
I just
unless it's got the Macho Man, then we can talk.
It might. I mean, it looks like it has a bunch of like legacy people on it.
All right, let's go into the next one, which is going to be the best sim/strategy game. So we've got Asia Mythology Retold. We got Frostpunk 2. We've got Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overlord.
All right, so I've only played one of these, and that's Unicorn Overlord, and it's really fucking good. So
okay, I'm going to go with that because I've never played any of these games, so that's the one I'm going to go with then.
Final decision. Locking that.
I'm going to say Manor Lords because that shit blew up.
Fair, very fair. I don't think anyone
like,
can.
It got huge out of nowhere. I'd never even heard of it, and people were like, "This is one of the most sold games on Steam in the last like year." I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay,
there we go. All right, let's go into the next one, which is best family game. I mean, just looking at this, Astro Bot.
Astro, yeah.
But let's quickly go through. We got Astro Bot, we got Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and The Plucky Squire. Which last I checked, you loved The Plucky Squire, didn't you, Bobby?
I did, but I love The Plucky Squire, and Talon, you know me. There is very, very rare instance where I will say something is better than Zelda, but Astro Bot is better than Zelda.
Yep. So Astro Bot's my clear one right there.
That Zelda, right?
That's Zelda.
Okay, good. I was going to say because that was that. I feel like that Zelda should have been better. It should have been better.
No, it's a good game. I like it for a top down and them trying to reinforce the freedom. I actually thought it was really, really great. But Astro Bot is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think it was a good first attempt. I hope they keep the whole Echoes of Wisdom mechanic for another game. I think there's a lot they could do with it. I think there's a lot of room for improvement.
Yep.
Yes, I do need to go though. So, but if you guys are on like a half hour, I'll be back.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so we got Astro Bot for the family one. Let's continue on to the next one. So next one we've got best fighting game. Okay. So we've got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. We got Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, which I have actually heard is a very good game. I mean, it's made by Arc System, so no shocker there. We got Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, which is like, was it like 7 or 8 games in one? So we got Multiverses, and then we've got Tekken 8. Between these, I'm split between Tekken 8 and Grand Blue. I've actually played Grand Blue. I've not played Tekken 8, but I've seen the hype around Tekken 8. Tekken 8 actually has a huge like tournament-based fighting scene here in Japan. So I see it all over the place at arcades as I pass by. So I know how good it is. I've seen it's very fun to watch. I don't know if I'd actually play it. Slash, I probably wouldn't be that good at it, but I love watching it. It's a lot of fun. I mean, most fighting games I've definitely looked at and been like, I probably would be crap at it. And I don't know if I want to get my ass beat down 10 billion times, but I love watching it. And then Grand Blue I've actually played, and it was a lot of fun. So between these two, which one has the realistic expectations of winning? Like, I really want I would love Grand Blue to come out and win, but I know Tekken 8 is also really popular.
I think Tekken 8's gonna win.
I think Tekken 8 wins too, but I'm personally gonna go with Grand Blue. I'm gonna go with Grand Blue.
And of these, I think it probably deserves to win. I mean, again, I've never played Grand Blue. But of those two, those are the only two that really should probably win. I mean,
easily. I don't think Sparking Zero is going to win. I don't think Multiverse is going to win, because Multiverse is basically all but flopped at this point. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Grand Blue on that particular one. So, to be fair, I'm not trying to be biased. I love Sparking Zero, but I think Tekken is better in every way for the competitive side. Well, that's the thing. I think when it comes to best fighting games, right, it's not just simply like, which one did you have nostalgia for? Which one was just fun to play for a couple hours or something like that? It's a combination of everything. Is it fun to play? How is it when you simply jump online? How is it maybe potentially in a tournament scene? Because, again, most fighting games do go into a particular tournament scene, especially if you've had EVO in the past and everything. So I definitely think I think Tekken 8 will most likely win, but I would like to see Grand Blue get a vote. I think it would. So, plus, the music is awesome in Grand Blue. But then again, Arc System Works has never disappointing when it comes to music. The combination of their rock and metal music, it's peak all the time. I absolutely love it. So, but yeah, definitely gonna go with that one right there. So, all right, moving on to the next category. Let's go into, oh God, probably the most stacked category of this entire thing besides Game of the Year, Best RPG. You guys have heard me say it here multiple times. 2024 is the year of the RPG. Anyone, who has ever said there are no games or that games are too short or anything, right here, your list, play one of these. There is something here for all of you. So let's look at what we got here. Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I think the only thing I would personally change in this list if I could, I would take out Elden Ring and I'd put in the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake is what I would put in there.
I think that missed the cutoff.
It did. I think it did, unfortunately, yes. That is the only downside. So, unless I'm wrong, because it came out on the 16th of the month of November, and the cutoff was like the 12th or the 13th, I think. So it missed it by like 2 or 3 days. I guess it was the same thing, I think, with Stalker 2. Stalker 2 missed it by like 2 or 3 days or something like that. So
I don't think from the review Stalker 2 would have gotten any nominations.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where unfortunately it's based on like all the technical issues and everything like that.
Yeah, it's rough, I guess.
But at the same time, you do have to kind of understand that where they are stationed in making the game and what's going on around the world.
Oh, no, I don't blame it. It's just I don't think it would have got nominated. I think at best it would be a Cyberpunk situation where it's going to be really good in a year.
Right, yeah, exactly. So for me personally, it has to go to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. No shocker if you've been here on this channel at all. Metaphor is a very close second runner-up. I've actually had a lot of fun with Metaphor. I just unfortunately haven't finished it yet because it's just so long.
Well,
it's such a long game.
I still haven't finished it yet. I will say, Elden Ring, so ignoring the whole DLC thing, probably in terms of quality, is probably the best one of it, but I'm not going to vote for DLC. I think it's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be there.
I figured you go for Like a Dragon, but because you loved it.
I loved Like a Dragon. It's a hardcore number 2, but I gotta go Metaphor.
Okay,
Like
that's
that
perfectly
formula
fair.
works so well. I'm loving every second of this game.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of those things for me. Whereas if I could get a second vote, like kind of like a runner-up type of vote in all of these, Metaphor is my easy runner-up. Like it's no question whatsoever.
It also depends on your opinion on RPGs, though. Metaphor is a hardcore RPG.
It is.
Final Fantasy is really not. As much as it might be blasphemous to say, it has a very, very clear action adventure.
Oh no, no. I mean, we talked about this, I believe, last stream when it came to Final Fantasy. Yeah, no, I absolutely 100% agree. There are still RPG elements in it, of course, but
sure. But it depends on your opinion on RPGs,
right?
Really, if you like the traditional,
you're going more traditional. I think because you could say the same thing about like Dragon Dogma 2. Right, Dragon's Dogma 2 is very action oriented.
Same with Elden Ring.
Exactly.
I mean, it's definitely action
So, but regardless,
RPG.
though, I don't think it's a hot take or anything when I say like RPGs for 2024 stacked year, just stacked. Can't beat it.
I would say all 5, but I think Dragon's Dogma is probably the weakest of them. But I mean, all 5 of them are pretty solid games.
Yeah. Plus, not to mention, you can probably find a good chunk of these on sale right now. So.
Yeah, probably the most expensive is probably still gonna be Final Fantasy though, just because it's Square Enix.
not with their PlayStation, not with the PlayStation sale, big sale coming up for winter and everything like that. You can go and buy the twin pack for because you get both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth combined. And so before the game released, it was $70 for 2 games, which is a killer steal right there. You basically get one of them for free.
That's crazy, yeah.
It is, yeah. And then after the game released, it jumped up to about $89, I believe, which is still a good deal for 2 games. But if you know what? Let's actually go take a look real quick. Let's take a look at the PlayStation Store. Let's go to... in here, it's gonna be in Japan, but regardless, I'm still gonna type it in. So let's see, Final Fantasy. So the twin pack, the twin pack right now is on sale. Now keep in mind, this is in yen and everything, but right now, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is 30% off. That's a pretty good deal in my opinion. And the twin pack again, basically 9,994 yen. In a perfect world, it'd be $90, but in reality, with the US dollar right now and everything, especially if you're buying from the States or heck, even parts of Europe right now, that is most likely down to I want to say $50, maybe 40. Let me get my conversion calculator out real quick. Hang on. So yen right now, 9994. That's $64 right now for 2 full games of that quality. That is a steal right there. Go buy this game, folks. Like, go buy it. It is 100% worth it. And if you're waiting for the PC release of Rebirth, I guarantee you we're probably going to see it launched or at least get a trailer for it at the Game Awards, because that happened with Remake a few years ago. So, yeah, I definitely say 100% go but get it, and it's 100% worth it. All right.
So that's not actually on sale in the US. It's $100 in the US.
It's not. There's no. I thought there's no sale going on right now.
Well, there's supposed to be a sale. I thought maybe it hasn't. I think it's gonna start on Friday though. I feel like because
it's Friday here. It's Friday here right now in Japan.
Yeah,
so
it's probably gonna go down in price tomorrow though.
Okay, so wait 24 hours, then go buy it.
Yeah,
there we go.
At least if you're in this time zone.
Yeah. I always have to remember that because it's like, well, wait, it is Friday here. That does make sense.
Yeah.
So.
It's still Thursday here.
Yep. All right. So going on to the next one, best action adventure game. Okay. So best action adventure game. So this is for the best action/adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. So we've got Astro Bot, we got Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws. Okay, sure. And The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Now, I actually loved Astro Bot. It was really fun, but my vote personally for this, just looking at this, because it needs the recognition it 100% deserves, and I'm so pissed it's not in other categories, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I don't care what anyone says. I know it has Ubisoft's name slapped to it. I know people dunk on Ubisoft regardless. This is a good game. Go play it. It gets my vote right now. Boom. Done. End of discussion.
So I was actually going to say something similar, but not as enthusiastic. So I'm glad you did.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. This game is so good. Plus, again,
it's really good.
It's let's take a look. Let's take a look right now. Again, I know it's on the Japanese store. Give it 24 hours and updates for US and all that stuff. Prince of Persia. Okay, we go type into it. 50%. Oh, got 20. Okay, 2,800 yen right now. That's like under $20. Okay, it is worth it. Just go buy this game. It is 100% worth it. And unfortunately, the team has been disbanded to other projects because Ubisoft is stupid. But
how long is this still running for, this PlayStation one?
I think until like December 4th or 5th or something like that. So it's a good couple weeks.
It might be cheaper elsewhere because I think I bought my copy of it full price, but sure. I feel like a month later it was $20 physical.
Yeah, so, and that's the other thing. Like, if you do like a Best Buy Black Friday deal or Amazon, you find something, like, get it there if you want to, by all means. Yeah. I'm just saying, just get the game though. Yeah, it's worth it. It is worth it. Really good. Just do it. Sorry, I'm not emotional at all or anything. All right, let's go on to the next category because I think that was a pretty easy one for both of us. Best action game. Best action game out of this. Okay, so we've got the best action game is the action game genre focused primarily on combat. I am shocked beyond belief on the doubt of that one. Okay, so we've got Black Myth Wukong. We've got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, whatever. We've got Helldivers 2, we got Stellar Blade, and we got Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. All right, Lemon, I've been taking the lead on a few of these. I want to know what your vote's going to be for this one.
If I played more Warhammer 40k, I might vote for that, but since I haven't, I can't really say too much other than it's really badass from what little I played. I haven't played Black Myth Wukong. I've stayed away from it because I hear it is kind of jank. And I'll wait for it to go down in price a bit. I'm probably gonna vote Stellar Blade since it's the only game here I really played. I enjoyed it. It really gave a lot of Nier vibes. I really like Nier.
Not to mention, it actually has that Nier DLC right now. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to see what that DLC. If it's actually more content, maybe I'll check it out. If it's just costumes and stuff, I really don't care.
So from what I understand, they've been doing this for a few updates. There are free costume updates, and then the Nier DLC is obviously the costumes for Nier, but then there's extra stuff added into the Wastelands or something like that. So there's some extra side content from what I understand. But okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure to what extent. I'll have to look up later on. For me personally, it would definitely be between Black Myth and Stellar Blade. I played a lot of Black Myth, and I played both games. So, but in terms of pure action, I think I'm gonna have to go with Stellar Blade myself. Black Myth is fun, but unfortunately, I think due to the performance, at least on console, I can't speak for a high-end PC or anything like that. it definitely has some jank in terms of some input lag and everything. So hopefully that gets fixed eventually. I'm not really sure. But regardless, I enjoyed that game. But Stellar Blade was Stellar Blade was good right out the bat when it comes to its combat and everything. Because that's what we're voting on, is the action, right? And right from the get-go, it was smooth, it was buttery, everything. So it was good. Not to mention, there was a demo. So if you want to try the game out, go play the demo. So, yeah. But it will kick your butt. I will tell you that right now. It will kick your butt if you're not ready for it. So, but yeah, Stellar Blade definitely gets my vote on that one. So, all right, let's go on to the next one, which I don't think either of us really know about, but regardless, we're going to take a look at it. VR games. Yeah, for the best game experience, playable and virtual or augmented reality. Okay, so we've got Arizona Sunshine Remake. We got Asgard's Wrath 2. We've got Batman Arkham Shadow, which I know a lot of Batman fans were like, God damn it, went to VR. Metal Hellsinger VR and Metro Awakening. Now, from what I've heard from reviews and gameplay clips and online and everything like that, which I know is not the greatest place to look, I've heard that it basically comes down to Metro Awakening and Batman Arkham Shadow. I've heard both of those
Arkham
games.
Shadow is super good.
Yeah, I've heard
super good. Like better than it has any right to be.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
I'll probably vote for that.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to go for Batman 2, if only because, again, from what I've heard, again, I don't have a VR because I don't have the room for it, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I'm going to go with Batman personally for that. So I think pretty simple on that one. Moving on.
Easy peasy.
Okay, probably the one that I'm going to dunk on the most is just best mobile game. Mobile games suck!
Hey man, wait till you see the list. Then you might change your mind.
Okay, well, I know one game that I know everyone's going to be like, not this one. All right, so we've got AFK Journey, we've got Balatro, we've got Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, we've got, am I pronouncing this correctly? Wuthering Waves?
Wuthering Waves.
Weathering Waves. Okay, I don't know why it has a U then, but okay.
No, Wuthering.
Wuthering Waves. Okay. Apparently I can't speak, right? And then Zenless Zone 0. So if you guys know me, especially if you've known me personally, not as the direct team here, but when I did my own YouTube channel and everything, I used to cover mobile games. Well, mostly just one mobile game, but I essentially got so burnt out that I don't do anything mobile related at all. I just don't. It's not something for me anymore. So, however, I am not blind by what Balatro is and how a lot, especially with a lot of the videos recently you're seeing on social media and people talking about in videos on YouTube and everything. I am not blind to that. I understand exactly what it is. But in regards, I still don't care about mobile. So, Lemon, whatever you pick, I'm going to give my vote to it. That's
all right. So I will call this out though.
Okay, good.
Balatro is the odd one out. Balatro is not a mobile game. The rest of them are gacha games for all intents and purposes. Balatro is not. It is a game that was ported to mobile. However, I am voting for Pokemon because I'm having fun with it.
All right, Pokemon gets my vote then. I wouldn't be surprised if Pokemon wins just because, again, it's Pokemon.
Well, it's just fun. And I mean, the rest of them aren't like barn burners either. Like, it's not like, I mean, Balatro is the only one I think, only because people would vote for it just because it's Balatro. Again, it's a game ported to mobile, not the other way around.
Yeah. So, all right, going into best debut indie game. These ones are always fun. I always like seeing these. So we've got Animal Well, we've got Balatro, we've got Manor Lords, we've got Pacific Drive, and we've got the Plucky Squire. All great games in their own right. If you haven't played any of these, definitely go out and give it a shot. A lot of them are very fun. But Lemon, what are you going to vote for? I know you've played a decent amount of these, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I liked Animal Well. I didn't finish it. It's not my kind of game. It's a bit too old school, I guess, or like it's very kind of if you like the old school like NES era of there's no hand holding, you will figure stuff out kind of games. Play it. This one, I'm so indoctrinated in the modern style of you get 2 hours of tutorials. It tells you exactly how to play. I heard a beep.
Yeah, it's me.
Oh God. Okay, I'm glad you didn't hear what I just said then.
I heard what you said.
Okay, good. It's not my kind of, I love the aesthetic though. I love the aesthetic so much. I actually I just got Balatro in the mail. I got the special edition of it, so I just don't play Balatro yet. But I'm probably gonna vote for Plucky Squire because that's the only one I've really played through. I liked it. I think it's a bit of a flawed game. I think it could have been better. But I really like the aesthetic. I like what they did. I like People didn't like the humor. A lot of people are like herp derp. It's just it's like hipster funny humor. I liked it. I thought it was funny. I like the wizard guy.
Well, Lemon, you're a hipster. That's why.
I guess I might be a hipster. I don't know. I might just be a hipster. I might just be a closeted hipster. What can I say? So
I think for
I'm
me
going Plucky
personally,
Squire.
between these two, I'm going to go with either Animal Well or the Plucky Squire. Bobby, what would you go with if you had to make the votes on this?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I'm going Animal Well. 100%.
Animal Well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what Lemon said. He said it's too old school. Like to me, that's
boon of it though.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of shit that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like that took me back to being, like 4 or 5, figuring out my way through Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And just it doesn't hold your hand. You just kind of got to figure shit out, and you just go. Eventually, there gets to a point where like you can't just figure out some stuff because like some stuff is so deep. Like that it's meant to be like a community interaction puzzle, which I think is also really fucking cool. But when it came to the base game, I figured the whole base game out on its own, and that was one of the best experiences I've had in a number of years in terms of indies, and certainly the best one this year. Although I've not played Balatro, I've heard that's super addicting, and Plucky Squire was, I thought, super fun and super cute. I got to give it to Animal Well for like tapping into that like classic puzzle solving that got me into games in the first place.
Cool. Very nice. All right, moving on to the next category, which by the way, before we do anything, Bobby, are your fans on still? I thought it was cooling down there.
I have a fan on to just move air around because I just like don't.
Oh, okay. It's picking. Yeah, your mic picks it up still. I'm just like, what the heck? I'm like, how are people having fans on? It's November.
No, it's like it's on like low just to keep some air moving. But let me turn on the noise suppressor.
There you go. All right. Let's move into the next category, which is going to be best independent game. So we've got a lot of the categories from last time, actually, or at least a couple of them. We've got Animal Well, we got Balatro, we've got I can't even pronounce this one.
And Laser Eyes.
Yeah, that game. We got Neva, and we've got UFO 50. I've actually never heard of UFO 50. I don't.
Oh, UFO 50 is an interesting game. I really want to play it. It's effectively 50 games from a bunch of kind of indie developers, and all in one. It's a hardcore throwback to like NES kind of games. I just want to get it. It looks like a really interesting game.
Okay. All right, so then what would you vote for then for best? Because it's best independent game. It says for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside of the traditional publisher system.
I mean, I've only played Animal Well. I want to play Neva. It's from the same developers of Grease.
Oh, that I definitely need to look into that one.
I really want to play that. It's on my list. Yeah. And Balatron's on my list. And UFO 50 is on my list. I've never heard of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, but I mean, if it's on, I should check it out now. That's half the fun of these awards is checking out games.
Exactly. Yeah, it's meant to get eyes on the game that you might not have ever seen. So, Bobby, what would you vote for?
I have to go with Animal Well again, although I really want to get Neva. But the thing with Neva is that I want it physical, and
there's no
that's
physical
not going
version
to like March. Yeah, it's like March when that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And Lorelei and the Laser Eyes I've heard is fucking awesome. And same thing with UFO 50. UFO 50 is also, Lemon, I'm glad you brought that up because that's like a throwback to Action 52, if you guys know what that is.
52.
It's horrible. Don't even waste your time.
I'm on
but
stream.
yeah,
I'm not gonna look it up.
It was a thing for NES back in the day, and it was like basically a bait and switch. It was like $200 for the cartridge. That was back when NES games were like $40-$50. So it's $200, but the premise was, hey, you get 52 games,
right?
And they all sucked ass, dude. Like they were bad. So it's just wasting $200. Like, and that was enough back then to buy like 2 Nintendos. So that was a real scam.
All right. Well, there we go. So best independent game. All right. Next one, we've got best community supports. This one says recognizing the game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches. So we've got
get Helldivers the fuck out of there first of all, because they were the worst. No offense, like I love the game, but they were the worst with that.
Weren't people like cheering them on at the very beginning, and then afterwards they're like, oh, actually no.
Yeah, keywords the very beginning.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I still maintain these motherfuckers. Look, Helldivers is super fun. Arrowhead, they are a bunch of assholes.
Whoa.
They straight up were like, oh yeah, we don't want to turn on the Sony PSN thing. Like, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So we're just going to not do it because it's causing login issues because we didn't program our game right. Oh, now we waited for months. Oh, blame Sony. Oh, and if you don't like it, just review bomb the game and then make a big deal at Sony about it. And Sony's the fucking 50 Cent. Like, what does they fuck me for? Like, they're not the ones who put the game in that position. Like, Arrowhead knew that the PSN thing was supposed to go live on the first day. Then they turned it off because they couldn't get their shit right with their code. And then they blamed it on Sony. And then everyone got pissed at Sony. And then they started fucking up with like all of their nerfing and just not listening to the community at all.
Yeah,
So,
I've heard the nerfing's been pretty bad. They've been like one of the updates or something like that was focused on like fire-based weapons, and like right before it, they nerfed
all the
fire
fire
weapons.
stuff,
And I
yes.
was just like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So
Okay.
no offense, they've actually done really good in the last like month or two, but before that they were fucking awful.
So what you're saying
And
is they've been
I
doing
don't
this essentially up and down, up and down.
I mean, not even. It got to the point where they had lost so many players. They were like, okay, we have to listen to the community.
What is Helldivers at right now? Helldivers 2
That's pretty good. It's
Steam.
like 40, which is good. It's better than Destiny, I think.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Helldivers, yeah, it's at players right now, 24. I mean, granted, it's nighttime for most people, so 24,000. 24-hour
Yeah,
peak,
from
28,000. Yeah. So, I mean, it's still doing well overall, I would say.
Yeah, that's good for a light. Like, a lot of people think it's gonna have Fortnite numbers or whatever. That's good for their budget and
Fortnite
everything. of
is
a
the
live
exception. I have had to say this
Yes,
multiple
that's-
times. Fortnite's always the exception. Like,
But it's like I say, like, yeah, like look at Helldivers. Okay, like look at the finals, look at Sea of Thieves, look at like all these other live service games that
Speaking
aren't
of
Call of Duty or
finals.
Fortnite, and you're gonna see they're sitting at like 20,000.
where's the finals right now? I do want to see that.
Finals is
12,000,
15,000.
15,000.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, that's about what I expected. So, all right. Anyway, so continuing on though with the best community support, we got Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky did just have that giant update, so do keep that in mind.
I have to go No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it's probably No Man's Sky. Even though I
Yeah.
really didn't care for the game when it came out, or Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I was saying it's either Final Fantasy
because-
14 or No Man's Sky. I don't play Final Fantasy 14, so I can't speak
I
on it.
don't
But
either,
I've also
but
heard
the
that
fact
Baldur's
I know
Gate
about
3 gave like mod support now and everything. They added in a ton of extra endings. So
You know what that means?
Yeah.
Dong everywhere.
I'm gonna go with No Man's Sky. I think I'm gonna go with No Man's.
Swing
I've seen the update. Damn, it's
Their last few updates, No Man's Sky, just the last like 2 months have been
Yeah.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like you guys are absolutely prepping for Light No Fire and you're just letting everybody know it.
yeah, pretty much. So that's where I'm gonna go with my vote.
Where was that on most anticipated game?
Yeah,
Jeff?
seriously. All right, next one is going to go to best ongoing game. Okay, so as of right now, this states right here, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time.
Elden
How is it-
Ring.
well, how is it different than the last one? This feels like they're kind of overlapping.
They kind of overarch. Well, I think best community is based on the actual teams that are
It's based on the
constantly
community
updating. Yeah,
team.
the
Okay,
teams
all
essentially.
right.
This is just
CMs
simply
and
the
stuff.
game. This is just the game.
Yeah, this
Essentially,
is best
right?
like live service or DLC.
Yeah. So we've got Destiny 2, we've got Diablo 4, we've got Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. Right off the bat, I just personally want to say Final Fantasy 14 probably. Destiny 2
love
has
Final
gone.
Fantasy 14.
Yeah, but you could say that, but the final shape is like the best thing they've
Oh, it
released in
was, but it's not set.
7 years.
But it's
Like-
but is it? It's not going off. And see, this is the problem with not having a DLC category, Jeff. Like if this was a DLC category and it said Destiny 2, the final shape, Elden Ring, things like that, I'd be like,
Well,
there you
you
go,
still
Dust.
lose.
So,
It would
but,
still lose. Elden Ring. Come on.
well,
now. Come on.
popularity alone.
Yeah,
it's going to.
really, like, yeah, Elden Ring should be in this category.
Yeah.
because
So-
Phantom Liberty was last year. So like,
Yeah, it's
come on, man.
It's so
And
random. But
should be-
anyway,
there should be a DLC category.
there
I love
should
Final
be.
Fantasy.
They
it
did
does
with,
make me kind of want to play it.
Yeah,
Diablo,
I mean, it's funny. Like they just had the global or the golden, not golden global awards. They literally just had
Golden Joy.
The
Golden Choice. Yeah, and
Globes.
they literally have a
Golden
DLC
Globes.
category. It's just like, how do
Yeah.
you not, Jeff? So
Because
I
It's
know.
Jeff Keighley.
I
It's
love
Keighley.
Jeff, but he's just Jeff. You're basic.
Yep. I think for this personally, I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy 14. I think.
Yeah, same here.
I'm gonna defy all logic here and go Fortnite.
Okay.
'Cause-
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I mean, that's
There's-
odd. I mean, just in
Yeah.
terms of pure technical ability, it does win just because of the amount of shit they keep pumping into that game.
That's
is
my
astounding.
thing. Is that like I can't deny the fact that Fortnite puts out more content than any other
Yeah.
game or any
It's
other
kinda
two
crazy.
games combined.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's wild.
It is. Yep. All right, let's go to the next one, which is going to be games for impact. So, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Okay. So
I
we've
actually
got.
like this. I think these are important.
I definitely think they have their place. So,
Yeah.
close. So we got Closer the Distance. We've got Indica, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I think it's Indica. Yeah.
Yeah, Indica.
Indica, yeah.
Okay. Neva. We got Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and Tales of Zenkara Zao. I think Zao is how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Tales of Kenzara Zao.
Yeah.
Zao. Yeah. Okay. So based off for me personally, I actually really liked Tales. Tales was a very fun game. It's a Metroidvania game through and through. The combat's actually pretty fun. Be able to switch between the sun and the light, or the sun and the moon powers. And it's a little short, but I thought it was worth it. I mean, I think it was only like $20 or something like that.
Yeah,
when
it
released.
was cheap when it came out.
Yeah. So
And it was day one on PlayStation.
yeah,
at
it was
least.
on PlayStation Plus and everything. So yeah, Tales for me personally, easy win. But what about you guys? What are you going with?
I mean, that's the only one I played.
Yeah.
I want to play Neva, and I've
played-
never actually played Life is Strange. I always meant to play it.
I played that and I played Hellblade, and let me tell you, Hellblade
Uh-oh.
is the most boring game I played this year. Like, I'm sorry, it looked so good.
It's a tech demo.
It's a tech demo. Like, but what's wild, Lemon, is if you play Alan Wake on a PC, it doesn't look better than Alan Wake.
Oh, I'm
But
sure.
But I think the part of this particular vote, at least, again, not saying that it's
For impact. I know.
yeah, impact.
But even then,
yeah,
like Hellblade 2 was so muddied with just like I don't know, the story did not really carry like the first one. Like if the story was on caliber with the first one, I would say Hellblade 2 for sure.
Mhm.
But it just didn't. It just was not even close to the same caliber. Like it was clear they were trying to they were trying to like make it like that, but it just didn't come out that way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like it didn't feel like it was executed well. Like the first one was executed like amazingly, and the first Hellblade is incredible, but Hellblade 2 is just like so many missteps in the storytelling and everything about the game. I've heard Neva's really great. I've actually heard Indica's very great. And Life is Strange is like, infamous for being just a fantastic franchise overall. If you're into those, I still got to go back and start and play all of those because like I've heard they're
Yeah, ditto. I think I have like a collection of like the first episodes or something. It came out as like an episodic game, right? Like the
it
original.
was. Yeah, it was episodic if I remember correctly.
So I like the collection, like the first season or whatever. I still in the shrink wrap. You gotta play it.
There we go. All right, so
I'm
what do
probably
you?
going with Tales of Kenzara.
So Tails got my vote and Lemon's vote. What are you picking, Bobby?
I would say Tales just because I've played it. I probably would love Neva because Gris was fucking awesome, but I haven't played it, so I can't talk. I can't speak for it. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. All right, going on to the next guy. We are on the final top row here. All right, innovation in accessibility. So recognizing software and /or hardware that is pushing the medium toward adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. we've got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and Star Wars Outlaws. Lemon, what are you going to go with for this?
I really don't know, because I don't think I used any of the accessibility features in any of these games, because I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember the accessibility features of Prince of Persia.
It was I think it was like taking the pictures of places that you've been, but you couldn't get past certain spots.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a cool feature. I thought
it actually is a really cool feature, and I actually
feature.
missed it in not having it in Tails, because Tails came after. So for me personally, I got to go with Prince. Plus, it's a vote for Prince because it deserves more. God damn it. I already went on my tangent though. So, Bobby, what are you going to go with?
I almost bought that because it's like $15 right now. I might grab it.
Yes.
I haven't played a single one of these games, so I cannot vote on this.
All right.
I don't know any of the accessibility like I haven't even heard of the accessibility things for any of these games, so I cannot in good
I'm honestly surprised Dragon Age Veilguard's in there. I put like 20 hours into that game, and I'm like, what exactly is accessible about it besides it being basically a soft reboot of the series instead of a continuation? So I don't know. I'm guessing Call of Duty most likely has to do with the audio stuff, even though the last I checked, you had to pay for some of those audio features. So, Diablo 4, I can't speak on, and Star Wars Outlaws, isn't that game getting like majorly overhauled and updated right now? So I don't know how.
Well, I mean, it's accessibility. I mean, it could just be that it has a lot of cool features to make it easier for people who are less able to play the game. They wouldn't be able to play.
That's true. No.
Which I'm all for. I think that's pretty cool. It seems like there's been a lot of that this generation, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always good to get more people in the gaming and everything. So yeah, but definitely for my vote though, definitely have to go with Prince of Persia.
Guys, I need you to convince me to not buy the Horizon Forbidden West Collector's Edition because it's on sale for $90, and
you already have it on PC though. I thought
Forbidden West. No, I bought it on PlayStation, and I didn't get any special. You get a Tremor Tusk statue, Lemon.
Oh, it sounds like it's worth it then.
It's so good, and you get a little Aloy figurine, and you get the
statues
soundtrack.
are kind of cool to just have up and look at it oh, that game was cool.
Well, because I know you have the room in your. I know you have the room in your little office space there. I'd say go for it, but
I don't have the room. That's the problem.
Well, sell one of those like 5 Switches you have, and you'll make some room.
I already gave one away, Talon. The other 2 are in important places. One is at my desk, and one is at my TV. Okay.
All right.
Judge me.
That's fine.
The other one I gave away because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, so I'll just give it away.
All right. Well, let's go into the next category, which right here is going to be best performance. So these are actors and actresses. So we've got Brianna White from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We've got Hannah Tell from Life is Strange Double Exposure. Oh, God, I'm going to butcher her name. I'm so sorry. Humberly Gonzalez from Star Wars Outlaws.
It's Umberlin.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not the best at pronouncing certain names. I mean, even as my own students, I suck at names. So, Luke Roberts from Silent Hill 2 and Melina Jurgens from
Jurgens.
Oh, Jurgens. Okay, again, super sorry. Not
Nope, you're good.
From Hellblade 2. So, from what I understand, all of their performances are top notch. I mean, granted, this is supposed to be the best performance, so I would expect nothing less. Bobby, who are you going to vote for in this particular one?
Brianna White.
Brianna White. Okay.
100%. Yep.
Okay. Lemon, who are you going to go for?
I'm probably going to go the same, if only because that's the only game on this list I played, and I thought, who did she play?
She played Aerith.
She's Aerith.
She's Aerith.
Oh, then yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for me. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna have to go with that.
Melina Jurgens, what she had was fantastic, and she is fantastic. Like Senua is such a hard character to play, and she does it well. But it's like I said, the whole story did not work in her favor. So it's like she got dealt a shit hand on that, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Well, that one's easy. Moving on. Next category, best audio design. Okay, so this is not music or anything. This is recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design of it, from what I'm understanding. Because if you go into because the next category after this is best score and music. So the actual music in the game. So this is just the audio design. We've got Astro Bot, Call of Duty, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. What are people thinking?
This is kind of cheating because I haven't played them yet, but it would have to be either Hellblade 2 or Silent Hill 2. Because because I've heard amazing things about both the sound design and both of them. I think I might vote for Silent Hill 2 just because I'm more interested in that game.
Mhm.
Again, I've not played them, but just from a technical standpoint, that one strikes me as a bit more
Okay.
interesting.
Bobby, how about you? What are you gonna go with?
Yeah, with this, like realistically, I love Astro Bot. Call of Duty is just always the same exact like no one fucking
It
cares.
sounds good though.
It sounds good. Yeah, sure, but it's like fucking I'll play Titanfall, same sounds, like exact same.
He's not wrong on that one.
Rebirth, like I love Rebirth, but fuck, audio design, really?
Audio,
that
I'm a
one
little, even as someone who loved
weird.
Rebirth, audio design, I'm kind of like, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I guess the sound effects.
I feel like
When it comes to audio design, like every year, if there's like horror or not horror, but like horror or psychological games, those are the audio.
Those are
design
generally,
games.
yeah, the best.
And I
ones.
will say with this, I have to give it to Hellblade because the audio design, as fucking ass as that game was, the audio design is next level.
Yeah, and I've heard the same with the first game too. It's just that's like the gimmick of the. Everyone's like,
that's the whole.
Actually,
That's the whole game.
First game when I bought Hellblade, the original one, at Best Buy, like, oh, do you have headphones? You need to play this game with headphones. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
I've
never
heard
even told me
nothing about that. Yeah.
So I imagine the same for the second one too.
Yeah, that game gets in your fucking head. It's wild. Like the audio design is immaculate.
Yeah,
it's so expertly done.
I think I have to agree with that. Again, Astro Bot have really good good audio and everything, but from what I've heard, again, never played it, but from what I've heard, like this is where Hellblade like just shines the most. So
yeah,
I'll give it to Hellblade for that particular.
And like Silent Hill 2, I haven't played it, but you could probably say the same thing where because it's a horror, like that's why last year I said fucking Dead Space.
Oh yeah, Dead Space should have been a
because Dead Space should have been a shoo-in and it didn't win, which pissed me off.
Who won last year?
I think it was Resident Evil.
No.
All right, well that I mean,
but you're talking about the sounds of the Ishimura.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that alone.
Won it. I mean, I think it might be number 2, Resident Evil, but it should have been Dead Space.
Yeah.
All right, so now
music.
Yeah, now we're going into actual music. So the score and the music. So this is for outstanding music inclusive of score, original song, and or the licensed soundtrack. So we have Astro Bot, Final Fantasy VII, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, and Stellar Blade. That's a pretty stacked list right there. I'm not going to lie.
You're talking my fucking language.
Bobby is the music expert here, folks, on the team. So
in my opinion, it's Rebirth, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
In terms of score and music, it's Rebirth for me.
Yeah.
I played Metaphor the demo, and I think I'm gonna buy it because it's like $50 for Black Friday right now. It's a good deal. But I can't put that music.
Here's the thing for me personally.
Rebirth.
Aside, I haven't played Silent Hill 2. I have heard some of the music though, but all the other games on this list, awesome music. Stellar Blade actually surprisingly has a lot of good sleeper tracks and everything. Metaphor's got some good battle music. Astro Bot just has good fun music essentially. And Final Fantasy VII, no shocker that it has an amazing soundtrack based on a guy who makes the music. Like he's made all Final Fantasy music for the most part, basically. So yeah, God, this is really hard for me. Lemon, go ahead. I need to think about this for a minute.
I mean, it's probably for me, between Metaphor and Final Fantasy. I think Metaphor has more standout tracks, but I think Final Fantasy has more consistently good tracks.
I'd agree with that personally. Yeah, I think.
Well, I just say you got like updated versions of One Winged Angel. Like.
I guess the more I think about it,
like maybe it's just because like
it's
that's
less
so
impactful though, if only because they've had updated tracks of things like that for ages.
Sure, but I mean I can't. I'm
gonna give it the Final Fantasy, but my second runner up would definitely actually probably Stellar Blade, just because it actually has a really good soundtrack in the second half of the game. And unfortunately a lot of people will never hear it just because they probably never got that far. So
I feel bad for Stellar Blade because like I can't play Stellar Blade because like look, I've heard a lot of people go, you Talon, you were like all about it. You're like, oh, it's
a very fun game. The combat's extremely fun.
Just make sure you're not playing it with your wife in the room.
Yeah,
she was there. She watched me play 90% of that game. So
it's like Bayonetta.
It just feels like a Gooner game, and it's got that reputation that I'm like, it just feels like dirty. to want to play it. You know?
Yeah, and the more
like
you unlock costumes, it gets worse and worse. So
Yeah, and I'm just like I
Just wait for
wanted
that,
to
just
like
wait for
because I
that
really love the
PC port.
demo.
Just wait for that PC port.
Oh, that's gonna be the worst, dude. That's gonna God, there's gonna be so. Never mind. All right,
Moving on.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
All right, next category: best art direction. Bobby, you had some choice words for people online saying like, I really wish people would understand the difference between graphical performance and art in a game.
Yes, because people don't understand the difference between graphical fidelity and art direction.
Yep.
Like,
I agree with that.
here's my thing. Elden Ring, I said this the very first time I played Elden Ring, like 2 years ago. I was like, this game's graphics kind of look like shit. And they do. Like, Elden Ring, I had to show someone, like, when I'm talking about graphical fidelity, what I'm talking about. Because I was like, Elden Ring looks like a late PS3 or mid PS4 game. Like, mid lifespan. And someone was like, PS3, really? And I fucking took a thing of Arkham City on PS3, a screenshot that I found of Arkham City running on PS3, and I'm like, Elden Ring graphically, in terms of graphical fidelity, does not look better than this. Sorry. Art direction is fucking 11 out of 10 in that game. I don't know if I've seen many games with better art direction than Elden Ring.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. And I mean, you could even make the argument for something like a Metaphor, right? And we've talked about this before. At least Lemon and I have, where
really good,
like
good
graphically,
it's a PS3 game.
It's a PS3 game,
yeah,
right?
It's a PS3 game,
about. Yeah. But art direction,
but the art direction is fantastic.
Art is amazing. Yeah, it's all amazing.
Yeah.
So, all
and
right.
Neva too has awesome art direction.
Between these, though, we've got to go. So we've got Astro Bot, Black Myth, which I actually agree Black Myth being on here. Again, technical issues aside and all that stuff,
because it does have great art direction.
It has great art direction. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Metaphor, and Neva. Man, that's a hard list. That's a stacked list right there. The more I think about it. Oh man, Lemon, what are you gonna go with?
It's Metaphor.
Metaphor?
I refuse to. As much as I like the art direction of Shadow of the Erd Tree, I'm not going to vote for DLC.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
For DLC, if it's not for Game of the Year, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
We're gonna get there soon enough. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's probably Metaphor. Maybe Neva if I played it. I love the art from the trailers I've seen.
Yeah,
the art looks awesome in that game.
It does. It really
I like
does.
the aesthetic of Astro Bot. I think it's really cool. But I think Metaphor is going to stay with me longer. So I'm going to go Metaphor.
You know what's funny is I would say on this list, the weakest art direction is Astro Bot. Which Astro Bot looks awesome. Like, technically, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and like things like the physics and stuff look great. But, like, in terms of art direction, it's the weakest. And that's because the other four are so goddamn strong.
Yeah.
Like, Astro Bot is not a weak game, but it is the weakest on this list.
Yeah.
Although I will say part of this little category does say animation, and the animation in Astro Bot is very good.
I guess you could say that. Their animations are incredible.
Yeah, they are. Again, it's a stacked list regardless. But for me personally, it's a toss up between Metaphor and Black Myth of Wukong because we're looking at arts, right? And that's really hard because I really like Metaphor, but Black Myth, especially when you get into stage 4 and 5, dude, some of the like background art in some of the places that you can't even get to, but you can see in the distance. Oh, it looks absolutely amazing. Oh
yeah, I gotta go with Erd Tree because, like, as frustrated as I am with Erd Tree's placement in some of these categories, its art direction is
I'm gonna go with Black Myth personally, but you know what? Hey, we all have our different opinions and everything, which is perfectly fine. So.
And that is the thing about those FromSoft games is all of them have ridiculous art direction.
They do. Easily all the time. Okay, moving along from that category, let's get into the last three, which is going to be the best narrative. So this is story, essentially. For outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game, we've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. All of these had pretty good stories.
The fuck did you say, Talon? What did I just say about Hellblade 2?
Pretty good story, right?
Oh yeah,
totally. I've been very blunt. Hellblade 2 should not be on best narrative list. I know why it is, because it looks pretty, and so that makes you feel like you're connected to the story. But the story is fucking nonsensical in that game.
Plus, isn't it like super short?
Yes, well,
not saying that
length
should
of game
determine if
doesn't
it's on there or not.
Length
But
of game.
yeah,
doesn't
that does
determine
not
the story.
determine, right? But I can't vote for Silent Hill 2 either because that story's been told.
Mhm.
And you could kind of say that for Rebirth, but there's enough change in there.
Okay, so
Versus Silent Hill
I do want to say
2.
a part of this, just because again, as someone who follows the game and whose wife loves the Final Fantasy series as well. So Rebirth, it's not just simply a retelling of the 1997 game.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
taking all of the extra books, media, and everything else written by the original maker of the game over the last 20 plus years, and is
Yep.
integrating that into the game, adding sections that used to be completely missable in the original game, and tying the story together tighter and making it more clear on certain things that they just could not do at the time due to technology back in the 90s. So I'm not saying that you need to vote for it. I'm not saying anyone here is watching this, but in terms of the story itself, it is not just simply same thing that you saw back in the 90s. It is actually evolving and improving the story and everything while sticking to what the original message was and everything that happens. But again, it's adding all that extra stuff in. So anyway, off of that topic though for a second, Lemon, what are you gonna go with in terms of best narrative?
Like a dragon.
Like
I
Dragon
knew it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
knew
not
it.
I
was
surprised.
love
coming.
metaphor,
I'm not
but
surprised.
it's surface level. It's not. It's the narrative's fine, but if you play Persona, if you played a SMT game, you know you're getting into it. It's not breaking new ground there. Like a Dragon is good. It is super good storyline. You will love these characters by the end of it. I guarantee it. And I can't really. I mean, Final Fantasy, sure. I mean, I liked all the characters in that, but it wasn't like a Dragon level of just. I really liked the characters by the end of the game, so I'm definitely going like a
That's-
Dragon.
Yeah, that's your vote. Bobby, what are you gonna go with for your vote?
I'll probably go with Rebirth.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't play Like a Dragon, although I might, because again, $25 on sale right now.
Yeah, definitely
So
worth it.
that seems like a solid pickup because, sheesh. Silent Hill, like I said, I've heard it's great remake, but it's just Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
Metaphor, I haven't played, but I've heard it's got a great story. I haven't finished Rebirth, but man, what a fucking endearing cast. And I know that has a lot to do with the voice actors, but still, like, just the whole
The
narrative
voice actors are
to-
absolutely amazing on all accounts
Yeah,
for that particular game.
the whole narrative, though, just the whole as it keeps going, just keeps you engrossed in it. And I'm so glad I waited for the pro.
Have you
Oh
gotten
my
to chapter
God.
9? Have you gotten to chapter 9 yet?
No, I'm at chapter 8.
Okay, chapter 9 is probably one of the best chapters in the entire game. So I won't
Yeah,
spoil
I'm like,
anything, so.
I keep going, and I'm just like, this is so good.
Yep.
Like, but then I get caught up in the side shit, Talon. That's what I was worried about. Like, fuck, this game's gonna take me 200 hours to finish.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
So just get ready. So, all right. Moving on to the last two categories. Best game direction. All right. So this is awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. We've got pretty much the game of the game of the year categories here. So we've got Astro Bot, we got Balatro, we've got Black Myth Wukong, we got Elden Ring, we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and we got Metaphor.
It is game of the year. This is the game of the year list.
It literally is
isn't
the
it?
game of the year list, just not game of the year. So, but
Okay.
best game direction. So again,
All right.
awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Right off the bat, I'm sorry. As much as I love the game, Black Myth Wukong, I don't think is that outstanding in terms of creative vision. But again, the biggest thing, and I've said this multiple times when it comes to Black Myth Wukong, it should be celebrated as a first attempt at a game like this. They did a great job. Now take what you've learned from it and make your next game crazy amazing, essentially. I've said that multiple times.
It's just like Stellar Blade, right? The same thing can be said. Stellar Blade, great first outing.
Great first
for a
outing.
studio
Now take
coming
what you've
from a different
learned
spot.
and apply it to the next one. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah, I am going to knock off Wukong because just like Boss Rush, the game does not speak, innovation in game direction and design.
Yeah.
And I have to take off Erdtree immediately because it is not innovative. It's just more Elden Ring.
It's more Elden Ring. As great as Elden Ring is, it's just
Elden
more
Ring is
Elden
fucking great. It's just more Elden
It's
Ring.
just more Elden Ring.
And it's like I played like 70 hours of Erdtree.
Yeah.
Like I fucking went and found every boss and every fucking area and every secret. And I enjoyed it, but it is not innovative. It is just more Elden Ring.
Yep.
And that's, yeah. So
So we're
this
down.
is
So now,
rough.
Astro Bot's interesting because Astro Bot, if you played Astro Bot's Playroom, like the Astro Bot's just simply more Astro Bot, which is not a bad thing, again, but we're looking at game direction in terms of creative vision and innovation in game direction. And if you played Playroom, you've played Astro Bot for the most part.
Well,
now, they added new things into it, obviously. They added a ton of new levels, speed runs, the whole 9 yards. But it's, you know, it's a platformer, essentially. It's an amazing
didn't
platform.
Move the genre forward.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a really good game, but it did move the genre forward as far as I'm concerned.
I will agree
Mario.
with.
I will agree
If
with that,
Mario
yeah.
came out this year, I do not think Astro Bot would be as big as it is.
Oh, no.
I think it's just more of people really want a solid 3D platform. I think it's more just a conversation of we need more 3D platforms in general.
Exactly.
It's a great game. I loved it, but I don't think game direction is where it's going to win at.
Okay, so we're down to Metaphor, Rebirth, and Balatro. Again, I've never played Balatro yet, and Lemon, I know it literally just arrived in the mail for you.
Yeah.
I've seen gameplay of it. I know it takes the card game genre and does some unique things, but it's poker in the end, the way I personally look at it. I know there's a ton of extra things you can do with it. I've seen the modes, but I personally, just for me, I don't think that's quote unquote crazy creative vision or innovation or anything. Just in my
I will
perspective.
say of the list though, it's the most innovative of the list of games. I think it actually does something different.
It does. You could easily make that. You can make that argument.
In creative vision, maybe not. But in terms of pure innovation, I think it's probably the most innovative on this list. These are all
I can see that. I can see that
but
argument being made. Absolutely, no problem. All right. So between those three, though, right now, I'm going to start putting you guys on the spot. Bobby, which one are you voting for?
It is hard because for me, I'm really torn between Rebirth and Balatro because Balatro is so goddamn unique. I haven't played it, but I've seen it, and I understand. I'm like, I could see how that would get you in terms of like game design. That's what takes me. But in terms of game direction, the scope of Rebirth cannot be overlooked.
Yep.
Just how fucking enormous that game is, and how deep into everything they really got.
So what happens when you keep 80 to 90% of the same team and they are actually all on the same wavelength and they actually know exactly what they want to do? Funny, I know. Crazy concept.
Yeah, that's so because I don't. The only problem is I don't see Balatro win. What's gonna happen is Balatro is gonna win best indie or best debut indie. Then I think Animal Well will win the other one, and then that'll basically be it for Balatro. And I think I have to agree. Like my vote has to go with Rebirth, just for the scope. Like it's so massive, and you know it's bigger than Shadow of the Erd Tree, right? Which is like everyone's like, oh my god, it's like they made a whole new game. It's like, oh, like Rebirth is fucking like twice that length.
Yeah, but people, for some reason I've seen a lot of people like just kind of out for it when it comes to Rebirth and everything, because they're like, oh, it's Ubisoft Towers and everything, or there's too much content, or you know, you have to do all this extra side stuff. I'm like, you can skip it all you want.
You can skip that, and like it's there if you do want it.
Yeah. Oh no. Every time I see the argument of you need to do all these mini games in order to progress, I'm like, no, you don't. You literally do not.
Wait, you don't have to do the Ubisoft Towers?
No, you don't. No, you don't have to. You don't have to do any. You don't need it.
Maybe it's like compulsion to go to all the towers.
There is one mini game, one that you have to do. But guess what? After you do it for one round of the game, you just go and you forfeit. That's all you have to do.
It's the card thing.
It's the card game. That's all you have to do.
Tournament.
That's all you have to do.
I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Right.
And any of the golden saucer mini games and everything like that, you just
I like the golden saucer.
Yeah, the golden saucer, a good chunk of them are actually good. But if you don't like them, you just skip them. But you die once and you keep going. That's all you do.
Wait, do you still get to see the scene with Red if you skip?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Where he walks out.
Yeah, you do see that.
You still see it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, please tell me you didn't miss that. Lemon.
No. Oh God, no. That's an awesome. Yeah, no, that's shown to you regardlly. So.
That came out of that just came out of absolutely nowhere. Like, what is going on?
For you, it was out of nowhere.
Yeah. For me personally, out of these three, got to give it to Rebirth. Just the amount, the scope of the game and everything is crazy, especially if you come from playing Remake, which you probably should play that game first. And then everything that the combat that they built upon, I absolutely loved Remake's combat, but Remake combat, I went back and played it, and there's surprisingly a good amount of stuff that they've changed and improved upon in Rebirth. And I'm like, I can't go back.
Yep.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Spider-Man 2's web slinging and everything from Spider-Man 1. Like, it's just like, God damn, it's actually like better. It just is. So
yeah, you get a little bit of it and you're like, okay, it's changed a little bit. And then you go back and you're like, what the fuck was I playing
exactly.
before?
And because Rebirth's combat just continues to expand and upon, especially like the synergy moves and everything. God, I love that addition. And I'm like, Remake, why don't you have this? I know why you don't, but damn it, why don't you have it? So, Lemon, what are you going with for your vote?
Metaphor.
Okay. No,
it's just I just really dig it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I mean, like you and I know a couple people who are just diehard, fans of Atlas and everything. Like, it doesn't matter what the game is, they will vote for it absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of one of them at this point.
Yeah. So, all right, here we go. So we have the final topic, Game of the Year, which, funny enough, is the exact same list we literally just saw.
I was gonna say,
there.
Deja vu.
We already know exactly what the games are. The topic says, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Now, before we get into our personal picks and everything, Bobby, you had some choice words for a particular game on here. Lemon and I have said our piece already in our video.
Yeah,
but
I have choice words for 2 games on here.
Two of them.
Two of them. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
So Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is not a fucking game, Jeff. It's a DLC. And I don't give a fuck if all the outlets want to do it. And it's great. And it's 70 hours long. It's the size of a game. I don't give a fuck. It is a DLC. I cannot play Shadow of the Erdtree without carrying my happy ass through 70 hours of fucking Elden Ring before I even get to touch it. I have to have Elden Ring purchased, and then I have to purchase Erdtree, or I have to purchase the Shadow of the Erdtree bundle. It is a fucking DLC. I didn't see fucking City That Never Sleeps get nominated for Game of the Year, Jeff. Okay? And that DLC kicked ass. Right? Now, my second beef is fucking Wukong. Because, look, I know what's going on here, and I'm going to lay it out real talk. Jeff, we all know that you want a slice of that market because you saw, in America, this shit sold like 800,000 copies. And then in China, it sold like 25 billion copies. And you were like, oh shit, there's a whole market that's never tuned into our fucking show. And so I'm going to make sure Wukong gets on this list so that we get 25 fucking billion people from China watching. And that's why Wukong's on this list. Because from what I've seen, Wukong runs like shit. The game is, it looks pretty. Like it's a UE5 game that looks fantastic.
The art, like we said, the art is actually really good. The art's really good.
Yeah. And even the graphics are pretty good. However, it runs like shit, and it's like a boss rush, and then you kind of like go like a little traversal section, and there's some enemies in, and then it's a boss, and then this is like little traversal section, kill like 10, 15 enemies, then there's a boss. And it's like, cool, awesome. That goes on for like 12 to 15 hours, and then the game's over.
I'd say closer to 25 or 30, but yeah.
Okay, that makes it worse, Talon.
I have to lay out the facts as someone who actually played the full game.
I appreciate you, but those two should not be on this fucking list, in my opinion.
Cross those off right there.
Yeah, like, sorry. Those two games, like, one is a fucking DLC, and I love that everyone's like, Jeff, it's a fucking DLC. It's a DLC. It's like that's
someone was getting ratioed on Twitter. Who was it? Greg, I think, like from Somewhat Funny or something like that.
I actually like Greg. I think Greg's all right, and he has some, sometimes I'll have some shitty takes, but that was by far the shittiest take he's ever had.
Yeah.
It's a DLC. It's a game experience. So it's like, bitch, where was fucking Phantom Liberty last year? Yeah. That transformed all of Cyberpunk, and you could go right into it. You could go like, hey, I just want to start a Phantom Liberty. I don't want to play fucking Cyberpunk. I just want to start. They might as well have sold that as a standalone. and then it would have been a game instead of a DLC for Game of the Year, right? So, like, I don't know, that drives me nuts. And then Black Myth is what, like, it's like an 81 or an 80 on PC, and then on PlayStation it's like a 75 because it runs like shit.
I don't know. Metacritic scores I don't give two craps about because.
But that's the thing, is that, like, everyone can say that, but in terms of how this has always worked, is that if you have a high Metacritic score, you're going to be nominated for Game of the Year. Not if you have a fucking 80, you get nominated for Game of the Year. Because again, if that's the case, where's Helldivers? Like,
where was Starfield?
Because Helldivers has like an 82. Where was Starfield? Although, to be fair, Ghost of Tsushima got nominated, I guess, but that was a slow year. Except for The Last of Us 2, which is one of the greatest games ever made.
All right,
Only
moving on
after
from
Elden
your fanfic, like, just obsession with that game.
He's playing the music.
Hey, to be, the please wrap it up. Where's the put that in, editors? The please wrap it up meme from last year, Game Award. No, I finally played Ghost Talon, and it was good. It was very good. I think it got a lower score than it deserved. I would give it an 86, 87.
All right, that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask.
Yeah. No, real talk, guys.
All right. Anyway, okay. So we cut out Elden Ring. We cut out Black Myth. At least Bobby is. I personally am too. Lemon. I'm assuming the same.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So out of the 4 games here for Game of the Year, the best games of this year, 2024, Astro Bot, Balatro, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Refantasized. I don't know why I keep saying Metro. I think it's because of that VR game I saw. But regardless, Metaphor. Out of those 4 games, now turn it over to Lemon to start us off. Lemon, what is your vote? Take us through all of your thought process. What are your raw emotions? Everything. Go.
From technical standpoint, it'd probably have to go to Final Fantasy. But overall, I still think I'm good at Metaphor, even though it is a PS3 game masquerading as a PS5 game. As a complete package, I'm really digging it. I mean, I like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's really solid. I really dig it, but not as much as Metaphor. I think Astro Bot's really solid, but again, if Mario came out this year, I think it would be probably wouldn't have, got the hype it did, and I haven't played Balatro yet. So I'm going Metaphor. I really, really dig it.
Okay. Bobby, what are you going to vote for?
I actually have to say the same thing as Lemon from a technical standpoint. Rebirth is probably the most deserving from a technical standpoint. But I have to say Astro because of how goddamn accessible it is. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just a 3D platformer, one of the most classic games of the modern era, right? Going back to like Mario 64 and basically every other Mario, right? But like Crash Bandicoot, like all that stuff that a lot of us grew up with, that kids can jump into really easily, that people my age can just play. Like I played that game. I platinumed that game. It took me like 15 or 20 hours. It wasn't long, but man, did I smile every fucking second. Like, there was not a second that I did not just have a big ass smile on my face for Astro Bot. And that is to me what makes a game of the year, is either that it blows you away from an emotional standpoint, right? Which is why I always will say The Last of Us 2 deserved that game of the year, because that game shoots you in the fucking kneecap with your emotion.
At the beginning.
Yes.
Spoilers?
Yeah, it's 4 years old. Get over it. Unless you haven't watched the show season 2 yet. Otherwise, disregard. Astro Bot for me, that's going to be my game of the year, just because it was just so much fun. Like Final Fantasy is great, but there's times where like you're doing a challenge, you're like, oh fuck me, I got to do this challenge, I got to do this, right? Like, because I'm a completionist, so I'm gonna do it. But like the rest of it, I love. But when it's like those fucking VR challenges and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, let me just get through this, right? And I'm sure Metaphor has that near the end game too. I did not feel that for a second with Astro Bot, and I think for me, that's what seals it.
No, I will absolutely 100% agree in terms of Astro Bot, in terms of just the fun and the smile across my face. I mean, I don't think I've ever finished a game 100% faster than Astro Bot, and that's not a knock against it, because I couldn't put the controller down.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I just kept playing. Like it came the week it came out, whatever, I can't remember exactly what day it is, but I happened to have a couple of days off right after it came out. going into the weekend. And I remember sitting on my couch, and my wife actually loved playing this game as well. She made her own account and everything. We kept switching back and forth between our own accounts. And then she's like, I need to go to bed because I have work. Like, okay, I'll be in like an hour or something like that. The first lie I've told in our marriage. I kept playing that game until 6 a.m. when she woke up.
I don't think that's a lie as much as that is an unintentional.
I know. It's not like, yeah, you get what I'm saying though. Like, I just, like, all of a sudden she wakes up and she comes and she's like, you never came to bed. And I'm like, oh shit.
Tyler just like bags under his eyes.
Oh, I did. She said, you still have bags under your eyes.
His hair had started growing back in.
It got messy.
Ouch.
It got messy. Starts looking like mine, just fucked up. Like,
so no, Astro Bot was definitely an experience. Absolutely loved Astro Bot. But for me personally, and Metaphor is an absolutely great game. I just haven't finished it yet just because it's so damn long. But in terms of everything from emotion to the experience to the story, the combat, characters, you name it, I have to give it to Final Fantasy. And yes, maybe I'm a little biased because I was actually able to sit down in the month of March and play through the entire game because we were literally covering it on the channel and everything. Like, I know-lifed that game. I just could not stop. And I don't care what anyone says on the internet about Ubisoft Towers and, you know, all this side content and everything. We have already stated here multiple times, you do not have to do like half of the stuff in that game. You just don't. You can continue on. And by the way, it's an RPG, so you still need to level up though, just saying. But regardless, I got sucked into it, whether it was exploring the areas, whether it was going for the summon totems, whether it was climbing a tower to then see the rest of the map and trying to get around and collect everything I possibly can. That's the kind of gamer I am. But the story and the extra stuff that was added in from all of the books and movies and everything and sideshows that have been made over the last 20 plus years just made this experience even better. Because half of it I did know and half of it I was like, holy shit, they actually added that. And absolutely love the performances from both the English cast and the Japanese cast. The only nick against the game I have to say is some of the translations in terms of going from Japanese to English, but I've gone into way too much about that already. But overall, it has to go to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for me personally.
yeah.
What about the Ubisoft Towers?
Huh?
What about the Ubisoft Towers?
Also,
towers, I climbed them real quick and I left. It took 2 seconds.
Also, anyone who's talking about a JRPG like having too much shit in it is obviously
you've never played an RPG.
No, normie.
I'm gonna say it right now, you've never played an RPG.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing Dragon Quest 3 right now, and I'm like, there's a lot of shit in this game from 1989.
Yep.
Like, god damn. Like, and it's just JRPG. That's how they're made. They have a lot of shit in them. And you can do it.
Metaphor is a huge game. Like,
yeah, Metaphor is like a 200-hour game from what I've heard.
Something like that. Yeah, and then the whole, like, we saw it here in our guide videos. So check those out if you haven't already, and you actually pick up Rebirth, because again, Rebirth, it's on sale right now. Go play it. Like, I saw a lot of people in the comments of some of those early bosses were like, I can't beat this guy, it's too hard. And come to find out that either A, they're vastly underleveled. Oh, I tried to fight a level 18, 19 boss as like level 10, which is not a good idea. Or they're literally button mashing with Cloud Sword, not switching between your characters, not using your magic, not using your ATB commands. Like,
yeah, that was in Remake, which the thing that took me a little while to learn was, I got to be switching.
Yep, you got to be switching with your characters. You've got to make sure you have certain materia, aka magic, on your characters. You've got to make sure you're using your actual skills to deal damage, getting that stagger bar up, all of that stuff. You've got to learn the complexities of the complexities of the game. This isn't a button masher with Cloud Sword going whack whack whack. If you're looking for that type of game,
Final Fantasy 16 exists.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah.
Which, I mean,
I love Final Fantasy 16, but he's not lying.
Final Fantasy 16 has got some haters, Ken.
Yep.
But no, I love Final Fantasy 16. I wish it had more
RPG elements to it.
Had an RPG, yeah. Like, if I'm using Blizzard on a fire enemy, why is there no bonus damage? That's weird.
Yeah, or using fire against a fire enemy.
Yeah, like, why is that? Like, it's just fine using like the Phoenix powers against fire enemy, and it's like, hey, cool. It's like, all right, I guess it works.
So yeah, I definitely that's my personal pick. So, but there we go, everyone. There we go. We have officially gone through every single category for the 2024 nominees. Now, granted, our cast is only 10% of all those votes. So who knows what's going to actually win? I'm sure there's going to be some disappointments. There's going to be some, wait, seriously, that one? So, I remember last year when Lemon and I were watching it because we were live streaming it, and it came to the score and music, if I remember correctly, and Final Fantasy 16 was up for nomination because it came out last year. And I'm sitting there going, I was telling Lemon this, I was like, I swear to God, if that does not win, this entire thing is rigged. Because I don't care how much people might complain about potential stories or the lack of RPG elements in Final Fantasy 16, that score was above and beyond the best of that year. I don't care what anyone says.
Alan Wake 2 came out?
No.
No, Final Fantasy 16
Final Fantasy 16 slaps that shit.
No,
down.
Lemon, I love Alan Wake 2. That is one of my favorite games.
Just for the dance sequence, just for that.
No, that song is the bopper of all time, but score
really
overall, like what's the tune? Is it Absolution? Is that the one, Talon?
Yeah.
That you fight Bahamut?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, holy fuck.
Yep.
That is one of the greatest pieces of music.
Yeah. That score is
never been written in gaming.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, heck, just the accept the truth when you finally become Ifrit for the first time, technically, of your own free will, and you accept the truth. Like, damn, that's a good song.
Find the Flame. That is,
God, that's so good.
Yeah, that is one hell of a tune.
That is one hell of a tune, and I don't care what anyone says. So,
all right. So while we're talking about last year, though, so best audio design, because we were talking about that earlier.
Wait, can we look?
Was it Hi-Fi Rush? Was that what it was?
Hi-Fi Rush.
Which, okay, that's so stupid because their audio design was ass.
Wait, hang on. Can we look at last year's nominees?
You just Google it, guy.
Google. Oh, okay.
2023.
Yeah,
Game
because
Award
best audio design was Alan Wake 2, Dead Space, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, and Hi-Fi Rush, and Hi-Fi Rush 1. Like, what? Better than Alan Wake 2, better than Dead Space, which should have won, and better than Resident Evil 4? What?
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So Game of the Year was Baldur's Gate 3, as we already knew. Alan Wake 2 won Game Direction. Best narrative was Alan Wake 2. Best art direction was Alan Wake 2. Best score, score and music. Final Fantasy 16. When I saw there might be a small chance that Hi-Fi Rush would win, especially because right before, I remember this now, because right before best score and music was audio design, and Hi-Fi Rush won. And I'm like, oh God, I swear to God, if that wins over Final Fantasy 16, like,
it's so stupid.
Yeah,
so stupid.
In terms of audio design, I honestly am surprised Dead Space didn't win that.
It was so creepy. God, I jumped so many times. I played the goddamn original.
Yeah,
I jumped.
Dude, I tested the original and it got me. I was like, how? Like, I played this game for hundreds of hours. I know everything in the original game, and they mixed enough stuff in that it fucked me up a couple times.
God damn that game.
Yeah. So, I remember. Yeah, because I also remember best performance. Dude, best performance last year was stacked. That was
like,
yeah.
I was so glad I got to meet Ben Starr.
Yeah, you actually got to meet Ben Starr, which is crazy.
At the after show, and I was like, hey man, I'm not trying to like fanboy on you or anything, but you were my performance of the year. I want you to know that, and you sold me Final Fantasy 16 because the end of the demo where you're screaming like I'll fucking kill you, that sold me on. I literally ended that demo and I pre-ordered right there.
He's also going to be in next year. He's probably going to be in one of the top RPGs next year, which is going to be that Expedition 33. So
that's a better name.
It needs a better name
for it's Claire Obscura, right? Expedition 33.
Yeah, for most anticipated game. I'm surprised that's not in here.
Where is that there?
Come on, there's five games here. There should be 6 right here on the edge. That should be right there. Like,
well, like, look, okay, I guess these are, like, I would take Death Stranding off there because, like, look, Kojima,
we all know the reason. We all know the reason Death Stranding's on there. We all know the reason why. We all know.
Jeff.
Well, I'm now surprised what that other game he's doing with
Xbox.
Jordan Peele. Yeah, I'm surprised that's not on there just because Kojima's attached to it.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, just literally put both of them
No.
right next to each other.
The first, like
like-
aside from like Death Stranding, if I had to, I'd remove that and put Expedition 33 in there. Is what I'd put.
Yeah, Expedition 33 looks like it's gonna be killer. It's like a turn-based RPG with action elements, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's taking the old and the new and mixing them together with the like high quality production that we'd expect from games. It's like, yeah.
like look, I know these are some big name games here, but like I'm just gonna read you guys some of the games that are supposedly coming out in 2025 and tell me if we could not have made a better list. So we have Doom the Dark Ages, Fable, Little Nightmares 3, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. I think that's that Captain America
That's that Captain
one with
America Black Panther game, yeah.
Holy shit, that looks crazy. Hell is Us, Vampire the Masquerade, South of Midnight.
South of Midnight looks really cool.
That's one of my most anticipated games of next year, and I think it's going to be Xbox's best game in a long time.
I'd agree with
that. First Berserker Kazan or whatever. I don't know what 2XKO. Metroid Prime, Pokemon Legends Z to A. Like after Pokemon Legends Arceus,
I love Legends Arceus, so Legends, yeah. I really hope that game is good.
And then Clair Obscura, like, god damn, like that's already fucking stacked, and that's the first half of next year.
Assuming some of that stuff comes out, but regardless.
Oh, and Avowed, like,
based on
Avowed,
those previews that came out today, like they're singing it.
I want to say, everyone who said those were good also said either Starfield or Redfall was good. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, and I think the other thing also as well is that if for everyone singing its praises and everything, put your money where your mouth is. Go support it and buy it.
Yeah, don't take a free copy.
Yep, go buy it. But
yeah, man, there's so much good stuff coming out next year it seems too small. Like there should be like 12 games on there.
Oh, there easily should be. Yeah, and honestly, I think for most anticipated game, they need to change this up a bit. First, there needs to be at least 12 games on here, and they need to have like the top 3. I think instead of just one winner for this particular category. This isn't game of the year. This isn't like trying to be best perform. This is just simply what are we looking forward to next year. There are so many games that come out every year, even though you have the typical people online saying there's no new games or anything. Like,
speaking of which, Lemon, I'm adding you as a friend on Discord because speaking of upcoming games, me and Lemon are gonna get out our shit with FBC Firebreak next year.
Hot diggy daffy, you know it.
Hell yeah. Fucking Control, the multiplayer game. I'm down.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, and Judas is next year.
Oh, like, wow, really? Okay.
Shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
all right,
man.
yeah. But yeah, no, again, there's a lot of, and we're going to get a lot of announcements and everything at the Game Awards. So that list is going to become even bigger. So
can you imagine if at the Game Awards they announced Venom for like 2025?
That would be pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, again, we already know why Death Stranding 2's on there, Jeff. Yeah,
come on, Jeff. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
So, and I think I already know, unfortunately, what's going to win this category. It's going to be GTA 6. We already know it. Unfortunately, I'm just going to roll my eyes when it wins. So it's whatever.
Well, I mean, it's most anticipated. It's not even talking about how good the game is. It's just the game people are most pumped for. And I can't think of a better game than Grand Theft Auto. It's literally going to be industry shaking. It is the game that is going to move consoles.
Don't forget, man. It's going to hit 60
upgrade.
FPS on the Series S, as some people are thinking.
If any developer could do crazy shit like that, it would be Rockstar. I mean,
I will say
RDR2 is still looking amazing for a PS4 game.
Yes. Well, I mean, so does Ghost of Tsushima though, and dude, I've been playing Last of Us 2 on the Pro. Good Lord, that game looks.
I like Red Dead 2. So I just feel like that game. Just when I saw, I'm like, what is going on?
Give me that 60 FPS patch. I'll pay you $10. Just make it happen.
Wait, it's not midnight over there yet. So yeah, Lemon and I. By the way, Bobby, Sony is starting, or PlayStation is doing their big winter sale. coming up soon, and I think it starts in a couple hours for you guys.
It started for me.
Oh, started for you already. Okay, Lemon said it hadn't started yet, but
it's midnight Eastern.
I was singing. Yeah, okay, I was singing this right now. Like, if you have ever wanted an excuse to play Final Fantasy VII Remake / Rebirth, which by the way, there are demos for them. Go try them out. But the twin package, Square, and I've berated Square with their lack of marketing. The twin pack is literally one of the best deals you can think of in terms of gaming right now. You get both Final Fantasy VII, the DLC, and Rebirth for $60. Need I say more? Need I say more?
That's a hell of a deal.
That is an amazing deal. And if you happen to somehow have the PlayStation 5 Pro and you haven't played this game yet, apparently that is the best way to play it. Bobby can attest to that.
Yeah. I have been so blown away by the Pro, as stupid as it sounds. Like, cause right, everyone's like, oh, it's just like marginal differences. It's like, bitch, that's why I pay $700 for a graphics card. Is that little bit of marginal difference?
Yeah, that's what everyone does whenever a new graphics card comes out or a new CPU does. You're not getting the huge. That's why your average PC gamer, like, they buy a new PC every 7 to 10 years or so. But for the people who want the best of the bests and they only get a small upgrade, that's why they buy a new graphics card every year. It's the same with the console. Like, it's
like I bought the 30 series. I bought I had a 1080, then I bought a 20 series, then I bought a 30 series. Now I have a 40 series, and I'll probably get a 50 series next year.
As we've said before, Bobby and I have said this already. We did this on, I think we did it on stream already a few times ago, and we already have a short up on the channel and everything about this. Whether or not you buy the PS5 Pro or not, or whatever other console and everything, start saving now. Those consoles are not going to be $300. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, we said Switch 2 / Switch Pro, probably between $400 to $500. PlayStation 6, probably $700. I even said $800. And whatever the Xbox handheld is, or whatever Xbox is doing next, at minimum, $500 to $600. Just saying it right now. Start saving your money right now. Set aside $25 to $50 per month right now. Right now. And you'll be good to go by the time it comes out. But don't expect $300.
Yeah, like, especially Sony, because like let's be like Phil Spencer just said, and we're not going to be able to compete with $1,000 consoles. I would bet your happy ass that Flight Sim is their test to see how much they can get away with cloud streaming assets for everything.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's their tech test right now, and we've already seen how fucking awful that turned out.
And
it did not go well.
As much as people hate it, the Pro is actually selling decently well. Like, it was never going to sell out. It was never going to surpass. Like, it was basically the same level as the PS4 Pro. But
it's
looking at the numbers, at least biggest surprise is in Japan here. It's selling very well, actually.
We need to wait a few months. Even the Dreamcast did numbers when it came out.
That's true.
So,
that's true. Yeah. But again, it's not. The whole point I'm saying is that it's not meant to be the next generation.
It doesn't need to be.
Remember, it's supposed to be 10 to 12% of the overall adoption rate. That's what they're aiming for.
That's exactly what it is.
If they do that, then cool. Like, for me, I never got a PS4 Pro because I didn't have a 4K TV, right? So it didn't matter to me. Now I have 4K OLED 120, all that. And they were like, hey, you can get a console that's going to push into that even further. And so I was like, okay, guys, I'm playing fucking Arkham Knight in 30 FPS, which is weird because I don't do that. But the frame timing, because it's so overpowered, the frame timing is flawless. You can barely tell it's 30 FPS. It's like, oh, if 30 FPS look like this all the time, I would be okay with it. Because this looks like, because my brother always just go like, oh, I dig it, it's cinematic, blah, 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 blah. Like, he plays Spider-Man 30 FPS because he's like, it's cinematic. I'm like, I fucking can't, dude. I don't know how you're doing
Spider-Man at 30? Oof.
Yeah, and he just loves it because he's like, the swinging looks so epic, it's cinematic. I'm like, oh, all right, dude, I'm gonna play in 60 FPS and
like, have smooth gameplay.
Enjoy the game.
24 and a half cinematic.
God damn it, Lemon.
Troll Lemon, he has returned once again.
So, like, I'm playing Arkham, and it doesn't even have that slideshow look. It's just smooth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then Arkham Knight, like that. I forgot how much Rocksteady cooked with that game. Good Lord, like that game. Playing it on the Pro when it's upscaling it to 4K and the frame rate is perfectly smoothed out because the frame timing is like flawless. That game looks like it was released this year. Like it's wild how good that game looks because the lighting and the art design carry it so much. But even stuff like Rebirth, just smooth in that quality mode look as opposed to
when
the
I
kind
saw
of
it at
blurry...
TGS, man, I was sitting there going like, damn, this is what it was meant to look like.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other stuff I've played. Oh, I played Horizon Forbidden West. Good God. I don't think there's anything. Maybe Alan Wake on a PC, but I don't think there's anything on a console that looks better than Forbidden West.
Well, I mean,
Pro.
even Digital Foundry has come out saying, look, if they're like, obviously a PC can beat all these consoles, but for the price, like you've got to pony up some cash if you want to get a PC running at that. Now, if you want a PC that's just simply going to play 1080, 60 FPS, 23-inch monitor, whatever, yeah, you can buy a PC that's cheaper than the PS5 Pro. That's never been in question.
But it would not surprise me if most of those games natively are rendering at 1080.
I mean, don't most render only at 1080 and then they
versus the PC? Most PC games aren't doing those super scaling and stuff. Like it's not doing a whole lot of up rendering unless you're using DLSS, which
if you have it, you're going to.
Which is, I mean, bullshit. But that's the crutch that everyone stands on now. But
but you could say that, Lemon. That's the whole thing about it is that like that's what that technology is for. Right? It's
for sure. The problem, my issue is that it's a crutch in which to optimize less.
Oh, sure. And don't get me wrong. Like, I would love everyone to optimize their games so that they could run native 4K, like 200 FPS. Like, that'd be great. But some of that comes down to like, obviously, some engines are more capable than others, and one of them that is extremely fucking capable is Decima. Versus UE5, which is kind of a train wreck. Right.
Yeah, it's been a train wreck.
It's been a train wreck since they started. Yeah,
it's just still not getting any better. Like the only game, funny enough, the only game that I saw that out of the box when it came to just being a UE5 game that ran great was Concord.
Yeah, funny enough, it was.
Concord ran fucking great.
Concord, what's Concord? Second.
It's something we do not speak of. But that game fucking ran great. It was UE5 game, and every other UE5 game I've played runs like ass.
There's a reason. There's a reason the remake Part 3 for Final Fantasy VII is not going to UE5.
Oh God, please don't. Like, just keep
going to
Luminous. It's going to Luminous.
Final Fantasy 16 runs on Luminous, doesn't it?
No, I don't. No, remember I was on stream last week. We read it like, yeah, it's not done yet, so we're not gonna use it. They use a different proprietary engine.
True.
So that's how I lucked out.
Let's see, Fantasy 16 engine. Proprietary engine, Phaser is what it says.
Yeah.
Phaser, okay. I don't know much.
So, did they say what the next Final Fantasy was going to run on? Did they say it was going to be
17, to my knowledge, has not even been announced or anything.
No, sorry. For Final Fantasy, whatever the third one.
There was the only reason anyone ever talked about it potentially going to UE5 is because this one interviewer over here in Japan was interviewing the head creator / developer of the Rebirth team, and he says, "Are you gonna go over to?" He made a smarky remark about going over to UE5 and everything, and the guy was like, we're looking at all our options and everything, but in reality, like all of the custom stuff that they have built with UE4 for both remake and Rebirth, and the fact that a lot of that Rebirth stuff is going to be used in Part 3, especially the open world stuff and everything, like it doesn't make sense to then hinder your team by trying to move over to a different engine. So it just doesn't. So they're most likely not going to. Plus, it's already entered full production, which I need to make a video on that. But anyway, regardless,
they need to do Final Fantasy 17 and Decima.
That'd be cool. Definitely
Make
would.
it happen.
It would look really good. It would extremely look
And then
good.
Sony can be like, oh, by the way, that'll be exclusive too.
Well, like I've said, and I've said it multiple times now, Square, you need your PC team. Otherwise, you're going to get 16 sales all over again.
I feel bad for 16 because like that game's so good and
Yes.
it needs first of all, it needs a goddamn pro patch. Like, let's make that happen because it still runs great, but like I want it full everything, balls to the wall, like using FSR 3 or whatever, or the PSSR to make it because like right now it's running at 60, which is nice when you're on performance mode, but if you get in quality mode, it's just locked at 30. So you're like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Well, you even have to mod the PC version if you want to get out of the 30 FPS cutscene stuff in the PC version of 16. And
yeah, it's annoying.
yeah, that's
So stupid.
That is,
it's interesting because they took so long with 16 to come to PC, which I'm all for. Take your time, make a good port and everything, but there's still some stuff. It's just like, how did this not get changed or updated or anything like? So
yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot. My DualSense Edge came in today.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh, your
I got
30th anniversary one?
The 30th one. I gotta do an unboxing.
Yeah,
So-
I was seeing all the PS5
I'm
Pros
hyped.
and everything 30th anniversary coming in.
I'm so sad I didn't get one of those, but it's okay. Like I spent the same amount of money
Just go
buying the DualSense.
spend 10K on eBay. I'm sure you'll get it.
No, not worth it.
That's
It was worth $1,000, like easy $1,000 with 2 controllers, with the charger, with the PS Pro, like easy sell for $1,000. But like when you see them sold for $5,000, no, fuck that, not worth it. Sorry. Like I have a PS5 Pro, I'm happy with it. We're good, you know.
Well, a very productive stream, guys, but I think I'm actually going to call it there. Lemon, actually, this is perfect for you because you'll need to get going to bed for work. And I need to go make that video about Remake Part 3. So, and get a shit ton of shorts and get this uploaded and everything. So we got a lot of stuff to do here. But for anyone who joined us, thank you so much for joining us here on the live stream, whether you're over on Twitch or here on YouTube. If you happen to be new, consider hitting that follow button or sub button, depending on what platform you're on, and check out the direct channel. Over on YouTube, we cover everything gaming, tons of in-depth guides and everything unique that you probably won't find anywhere else. And yeah, check us out and make sure you let us know what game you are most excited for when it comes to both the Game Awards and what are you most anticipated for 2025. So with that being said, though, Lemon, thank you so much as always for joining me. Bobby, thanks for joining us today as always. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.